Hello everyone, welcome to my sixth video on why I'm going to vote for Britain to remain in the EU. Video 6, reason 6. My next reason for voting to remain in the EU is democracy. We've got lots of different levels of democracy in this country, from parish councils. I've recently become a parish councillor myself. We've got city councils, county councils, the national government and the EU Parliament. It makes sense to me that some decisions that are specific to a local community are taken very locally by local people. Others affect the whole country, so they should be taken at a national level. But also, some issues are best taken with international cooperation, because often our interests in the UK are aligned with those of our European neighbours. And as is often the case, if our UK representatives can convince their continental counterparts of the strength of what they're arguing for, then the whole of the EU, all 28 countries, all of their economic clout, can get behind the UK and magnify the voice of Britain across the world, acting as a megaphone for the British voice in the world. And the European Parliament is a democratic forum which we directly elect representatives to, the MEPs, by proportional representation. So if you want to get stuck in yourself, you can get yourself nominated, persuade people to vote for you, and if you're successful, find yourself voting voting in the EU Parliament. It's not the only part. It's not the only part of the EU. There's also the Council of Ministers, formed by an elected government minister from each member state, and then there's the European Commission, one commissioner from each member state nominated by their member state, and the Commission's job is to propose legislation which is then debated and voted on by both the Council and the Parliament before it becomes law. Now, some have suggested that because the Commission initiate that process, they can therefore dictate to the EU what becomes law. This isn't true, because the Commission takes advice on what to propose from national governments, from the EU Parliament and from a whole load of different expert sources in deciding what to propose. And the Commission knows that it must find approval for its proposals, both from the Council of Ministers and from the EU Parliament. So they know that there's little point in proposing measures that are not going to be supported. Now, so I wonder, if we were to leave the EU, would we still collaborate and cooperate and make decisions in conjunction with other countries, or are we just going to turn our backs on them? Now, the Leave campaign insists that they're not arguing for isolation, and yet they've said nothing about how those discussions would take place. They want to get rid of this whole level of democratic engagement, and they propose nothing to replace it with. So I wonder, would those discussions happen at all? And if they did happen, would there be any democratic representation in them? Nothing has been proposed. So what? All that important discussion with European neighbours, that all happens on an entirely ad hoc basis? I don't think that's wise. I think we need to stay in. We need to participate more, not less, with European democracy. So that's why democracy is my reason number 6 for voting for Britain to remain in the EU.